Hi, I'm Jack Draper. Shout out to QualityShot Tennis.
It's been a breakthrough year so far for ARYNA Sabalenka. She's leveled up her game, winning the Australian Open 2023 tournament, her first Grand Slam, and it's looking like this is going to be her career best year. Now, why is that the case? Why is she changing her game, and why has she suddenly been able to find that extra bit, that extra few percent to push her over and become one of the elite stars on the WTA side? Well, we're going to break it down. We're going to look into it in this episode of Beyond the Data, partnered with Beyond Tennis, who will be powering the stats as we go through today's video. Before we do, though, remember to that like button, do subscribe if you are new, and also do leave a rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. So as you can see here, they've said, is it the year of the tiger? And that's in relation to Sabalenka having a tiger tattoo on her forearm, which is very well known, I think, on the tennis circuit. And that is really the way she plays as well. She does play in a very ferocious manner. That is her type of game, very aggressive and powerful game. Okay, so first of all, let's look at double faults, because everyone talks about double faults when it comes to, I mean, everyone does, right? Everyone talks about double faults when it comes to ARYNA Sabalenka, because with the Belarusian, in the past, there's been a lot of criticism levied at her that she goes through periods where she'll hit a lot of double faults, and that potentially is actually the reason why she either goes on to lose a match, or the reason why she then drops or dips in form during a match and her confidence really wanes after. So let's have a look and see whether there's been any difference from last year to this year, and whether there's a correlation, because this year, of course, she's been playing some better tennis. She did play pretty well last year, I have to say, in 2022. It wasn't a bad year by any stretch of the imagination, but this year she has, alongside Krejcikova, well, actually, I would say alongside Rybakina and Swiatek as a three, those three have really stepped up. I think those three are the ones that are looking to push on and win slams this year, and win the major tournaments anyway. And that's what seems to be forming on the WTA side anyway. So you can see here for the double faults anyway, this is the average number of double faults and aces in the first 3 months of the year. So in 2022, this is per match. Double faults, you can see they're just over 3.5 double faults in 2023, that is, per match. That's not too many, to be honest. Over 2-3 sets, that's an average of what? Well, if we're talking about over 2 sets, an average of 2 double faults per set, or over 3 sets, it'll be around just over 1. And in 2022, she was averaging 8.5 double faults per match. So she's more than halved that double fault number, that average, which is impressive. And what's even more impressive is she's halved that number, but also managed to increase the number of aces per match. So she's gone up to 6 aces on average per match. And then you can see here, in terms of in terms of aces in 2022, she was around 3.5. So she's almost doubled and increased the amount of aces per match, but not quite. So that's impressive. So she's positively increased by almost twofold her ace count, and also positively decreased her double fault count by twofold as well. So that's a really, really impressive turnaround from last year. Her biggest improvements then. So what has she improved this year statistically, and does that show in her game? Well, 75% of the points won on her first serve so far this year. So 75%, which is really, really impressive, of points won with the first serve in the same period of 2022. So we're talking about the first 3 months. She only won 67%. So she's increased that win percentage behind her first serve by 8%, which is pretty impressive. And I would say anything over 70% is very good, if we're talking about win percentage behind first serve. So that's very, very good. And then if we're talking about points lost on service games, the amount of times that she will lose a point on her serve, that's only at 32% now, whereas in the same period of 2022, it was 40%. So again, decreased by 8%, which is a positive thing in this stat, and again, impressive and showing that she is backing. One, I think she's serving a lot better. So the fact that she's hitting a lot less double faults is going to mean that she's going to win more points on serve naturally, also by hitting more aces. But I think she's also backing up her serve really, really well. I think she's always tried to have a big serve 1+ plays. But I think what she's done extremely well in the past is actually, what she's done extremely well in the past is trying to utilize that. But what she's now done today and at present is actually being able to implement that effectively, which is really, really good to see. In terms of breakpoint saved, you can see 69% of breakpoint saved, which is, again, very, very impressive. In the same period, it was 53%. So there has definitely been, I think, a switch in terms of mental toughness, and that probably aligns with this stat. I think in the past, there were definitely moments where she would fall away a little bit mentally, and could get disheartened and really let her emotions get the better of her. But one thing that she stated after the Australian Open win was that she actually said she wasn't using a psychologist, but she has made sure that she is taking responsibility for her matches, for her points, for her level. And she spoke with a certain level of maturity, I think, which is now being shown, and that's definitely shining through her game. And then finally, in terms of stats, sets won by Sabalenka by score. So this is obviously looking at the scoreline, and how well and impressively she's winning sets. So before 2023, you can see, so the green column, the purple column even is before 2023. You can see that generally speaking, the trend is that those purple blocks, those purple towers, are more leaning towards that 6-4, 7-5, 7-6, categories or score lines. For 2023, though, you can see higher green towers at 6-love, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. I mean, look at this. I mean, she's now winning sets at nearly 10%, bageling people. Before it was around 4-5%. She's doubled that. She's around the same for the breadstick scoreline. 6-2, though, there's an increase there. Increase in 6-3 by a little bit. And then 6-4, 7-5, 6-4 and 7-5, there is a dramatic decrease, which is good in 2023 because obviously you want to be winning sets easily. And it definitely helps going forward in tournaments, of course, as well in terms of fatigue. 7-6 around the same. She's actually a slight increase by a 0.5% by the looks of it in 2023, but that's not a massive surprise. To be honest with you, given the type of players she's been playing this year. Rebecca, for example, she's played her quite a few times. So that's the stats in terms of Sabalenka this year, and clearly her upturn in form and her really impressive start to the season is backed up by the stats, by the data. Thank you to Beyond Tennis as always. Make sure to go over and follow them even on Twitter. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and also on TikTok and get involved with their social media because they have some incredible stats. We do cover, obviously, as you can tell, a lot of the bits that they do on their social media, but not all of it. So go check out what they've got on there. Some really, really interesting bits, data, stats, and other bits. So I would definitely recommend checking them out. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe. Well, remember to that like button. Do subscribe if you are new, and also to leave a rating, all of you, if you're listening on a podcast platform. Over 80% of you are still not subscribed. So come on, guys. Help us out. We've hit 5K subs. Let's get to 10K as soon as possible. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. We'll see you very, very soon.